So this will be a series of exercises you can do to do a general warm-up from the ground, and this can progress right into your dynamic warm-up that you would be doing on your feet. So the first thing we always want to start off with is doing some diaphragmatic breathing. So you're going to lay down on your back. You're going to have your knees up like this for me, and then what you're going to do is you're going to have one hand on your stomach, one hand on your chest. We want to try and limit any chest breathing. So what we're going to do is we're going to close our eyes, and I want you to feel your bottom hand as you inhale rise first. I don't want to see this hand go up first, so it should look like this. Hopefully you can see my hand going up. We don't want to see this. So try and focus on the lower half. That will start off with your diaphragmatic breathing. Then we're going to go into our rib pulls. So you're going to be laying on our side. You're going to use your arm as a pillow here. You're going to grab onto your rib cage. You're going to take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, I'm going to turn my shoulder and my head. Your breath is really important here. So I did 3 breaths there. If you tense up and are tight, you're not going to be able to move. So make sure that you exhale and breathe out and relax. So then we're going to go straight into our arm circles. So if you don't want to do so much of your ribs, but you want to work more of your shoulders, you're going to put your arm like this. And I'm going to basically try and have my hand stay in contact with the floor the entire time. So I should open up my arm. And one quick note here before I go on as well. Knees should be nice and high. We don't want to have our knees down like this. So make sure they're up and flexed pretty high here. So we're going to breathe out and keep my arm across the floor the whole time. I'm trying to keep my eye on my hand the entire time here. And you would do those on both sides. Next thing we're going to be doing is more of a little bit of a press up or yoga push up, some people would say. So we're going to go into a prone extension and then right into the push up. So you're going to lay down on the ground like this. I want to make sure my ribs are on the ground and my hips are on the ground, but I want to leave a little bit of space under where my belly button would be. And what we're going to do here is we're going to try and lift up our head and our chest without using our lower back so much. So it should look like this. Head comes up. And we're going to press up a little bit here. And as you get more comfortable, you can actually go into a full press up. Head comes first. Then you're going to go straight into your hands here and on your feet. And we're going to do a little push back, a yoga push up here. And I want to drive my hands back and have my butt come up in the air here and come back. Use my hands, drive through the ground, come back. Good. Next we're going to do is we're going to do our glute bridge exercise. And what we're going to do is basically go on 2 legs, and we can do some on 1 leg as well. So glutes are engaged, toes off the ground. I like to have my arms up here like this for me. Squeeze those glutes, and we're going to just drive up and come back down. You can switch some of those up. You could do 1 leg. Maybe do about 5 on each side. We can go into our prone rocky position, good for the hips here. We're going to get our knees nice and wide. Hands out a little wide here for me. And what we're going to do is we're going to sit back in those hips. And we're going to rock back. Come forward. So from a side view, look like this. Sinking back in those hips. Play around with knee position. You don't want to feel any pinching in your hip at all. And those would be your basic prone rocking. Then we're going to do our thoracic spine mobility. So what we're going to do is we're going to get in this position, and you can have your butt back towards your heels. 1 hand behind your head, or if that hurts your shoulder, we can go across in this position. And we're going to open up. And just rotating through that shoulder from a side view, sinking back. If it bothers your knees at all in that position, you can get a little bit more here if you'd like. Okay, that would be your T-spine mobility. We're gonna get our core firing a little bit. We're gonna go into our bird dogs. So we're going to reach back, toe, and as far as I can, my hands as far as I can, keeping a good flat back. Try not to dip yourself, nice and tall, core is engaged. Okay, next we're gonna do is getting more of our hips involved here. So we're gonna do our three-way hip rocking here. So we're gonna get in a half kneel position like this, and I'm gonna make sure that I'm gonna sink into this front hip. So I should get a little stretch back here, and you're gonna be feeling a little bit of stretch under this hip as well. And I'm gonna sink back like this. The key here is to not let myself arch back like that. That's gonna hurt my back. So I'm gonna sink in, abs a little bit tight, and drive forward. Okay, so you're gonna do about 5 to 6 of those, and then you would switch. And then we're gonna go into a 45-degree angle. So instead of being straight on, we're gonna be at 45 degrees, and we're gonna rock out like this. Still keeping my chest forward. I'm not letting my chest go that way. And you would repeat that. And the last one you're gonna do is you're gonna get your hips all the way out to the side, keeping my chest straight. This one does not take much effort for it to be very, very tight. So go easy on this one and sink in and get that full hip stretch. And then you repeat that on the other side. While we're here, we can also do a little bit ankle mobility. So instead of having such a wide hip position, shorten up a little bit, keep this front foot on the ground, the heel stays on the ground. I'm not concerned about my back hip anymore, my back foot. I'm just gonna drive my knee over my toes without letting my heel come off the ground. And I'm gonna focus on getting that nice ankle mobility in there. And then we're gonna do some more hips here. We've got 2 more left. We're gonna get in this position like this. You can start off with your hands first. And what we wanna do is we wanna drop our knees down into a 90 position. Keeping our chest up. And you might just wanna start here. If your hips hurt a little bit, they're a little tight, you can just practice by doing some hip drops. As you get more comfortable, you can go into all the way down. And then when you want to progress it one more time, we can go actually hands off, keeping our chest up and working through those hips. And the last one we're going to do is we're going to work our way to standing. We're going to grab onto our toes, like under our feet here. And we're going to do is keep our feet flat. And we're just going to go up into basically a straight leg raise here with our hamstrings and our glutes really stretching, and come back down. Gripping on, holding onto my toes, and trying to stretch as much as I can. This is a reverse toe touch. And once you get through all those, you can now work your way standing up to the dynamic warm-up.